In this video, I'm going to show you how to train the place command. The place command is when you can send your dog to an elevated surface just like this, and their job is to stay there and relax until you release them. You can use this inside the house, outside the house, when people come over. You can use it if your dog is destroying the house. It's a very simple behavior to train. There's only 3 levels to it. Level 1 is where we teach the behavior. Level 2 is where we add the 3Ds, and level 3 is where we proof the behavior. It only takes about a week to train, and by the end of this video, you'll know how to train a solid place command with your dog at home. The key in the beginning is to start teaching this on an elevated surface like this. I'll have some links to these play sports in the description, and on level 3 you'll be able to generalize it to other things, to your dog's bed and a blanket on the floor, but in the beginning start teaching it on a place board like this. So now let's get started with level 1. The purpose of level 1 is simply to get the dog comfortable with getting on the place board and begin teaching the verbal cue. We just want the dog to think that getting on the place board equals something good. And level 1 only takes a session or 2 to complete. It's very fast. So step 1, build a positive association using positive reinforcement. In a low distraction environment like your living room, lure the dog onto the place board using food. Have them follow your hand with the food, move it very slowly, lure them onto the place board, and once they have all 4 paws on, you're going to mark it with chip, and then open your hand, have them get the food inside your hand, all right? And you're going to repeat this until they're happily getting on and off. So now I'm going to show you the process with Arrow. You see I've got the leash in one hand, I've got the food in the other hand, and I'm going to practice luring him onto the place board by having him follow my hand with the food in it. See, I'm moving my hand very slowly, and once he gets 4 paws on, I chip, and then release my hand and he gets the food that was inside. The chip is our reward marker. Every time the dog hears that sound, they're getting a food reward every time. And this allows us to capture the exact behavior we're looking to reinforce. And I'm not saying any words, I'm not giving him the command. All I want to do at this stage is just teach him that getting on the place board equals something good. It's good to get on the place board. That's it. So I just lure him onto the place board, and then once he's got 4 paws on, I and then reward the dog. If your dog is afraid of the place board, try flipping it over so the legs are sticking up in the air. This can make it a little easier. If your dog is still afraid, you can reward by successive approximations. What this basically means is reducing your criteria and then upping it gradually. So instead of pushing for 4 paws right off the hop, just push for 1 paw. Get a couple successful reps in there. Now we're going to push for 2 paws. Now we're going to push for 3 paws. You see, you up your criteria until you're at 4 paws now. And if your dog is still having none of it, then you're going to simply move on to the next step. Step 2 is to make pressure to the position. We're going to teach the dog how to get there using leash pressure. So guide the dog onto the place board, making gentle directional leash pressure, right? Your leash can be attached to the prong collar and make light pressure onto the place board, very light. And once the dog has all 4 paws on the place board, then you mark it with chip, release that pressure, and then reach in your treat pouch, reward the dog with food. You see what we're doing here? We're just showing the dog how to get here using leash pressure, negative reinforcement. We're making pressure, 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 pressure. Once the dog gets on place, the pressure goes away. So you see how we're using a combination of positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement in the teaching process. This is how you create reliability in the behavior. So here I'm making directional pressure on the leash, and once he gets on, I chip and release the pressure, and then reach into my treat pouch and produce the food reward. That's it. I'm just teaching him that when I make this pressure to turn it off, you get on the place board. This is Ollie, a completely different type of dog. He was a little afraid, a little unsure of the place board. I couldn't get him on there with just food, and so I made leash pressure. You see, I maintain the pressure until I get at least 1 paw on the place board, and then I release the pressure and reward him with food. If your dog doesn't take food, of course you don't have to use it. You can just simply release the pressure and praise the dog. But the real secret sauce here, guys, if you have a dog who is a little afraid of it, a little spooked out by it, is to combine the negative reinforcement with the positive reinforcement. It is so powerful. It's such a powerful combo for these types of dogs in terms of working through stress. You can see his tail's wagging. He's ready to go. Once he gets 2 paws on, release the pressure, mark and reward, all right? And we do it again. You see how happy he is right now? He's no longer afraid of it. That's the secret, guys. Negative reinforcement plus positive reinforcement. Now I'm going to push for all 4 paws, and boom, effortless, all right? That's the secret, guys. The key here, though, if you have a dog who's a little sketched out by it, is to not release the pressure until your dog gets on the place board, all right? Everyone makes the mistake of, your dog is hitting the brakes, Ollie wasn't that bad, but some dogs will be like screaming and like freaking out and stuff and like all of this. And then people accidentally reinforce this behavior by releasing the pressure in that moment. And you don't want to do that, okay? Do not release the pressure until your dog gets on the place board. If you like this video and you want to continue training with us, check out our training program. We guarantee you'll see results within your first 30 days, or we'll give you a full refund and we'll help you find an in-person trainer in your area. We give you everything you need to completely eliminate your dog's reactivity and get them fully off-leash trained. You can see how the course is structured here. Everything is step by step. You complete the video lessons in order. No more guesswork, trying to figure out what you need to do next and how to train it. We give you the plan. All you need to do is execute. And whenever you have questions or get stuck, I do live weekly Q&A calls inside the group every week, and you can get answers to your questions live with me. And we've got students all over the world getting results. We've got Mark and his dog Moose from the Netherlands. We've got Danielle and her dog Diesel from Colorado. We've got Jordan from Canada, Melissa from Portland, Daryl from New York. We've got Kylie from LA. It's an amazing group of people because everybody here shares the same goals. We're all speaking the same language, and we're all trying to become the best owners we can be for our dogs. So if that sounds interesting to you, check it out. The link will be in the description. Now let's start teaching the verbal cue. So what you're going to do is you're just going to add the verbal cue a second before everything else. So before, what it looked like was lure, mark and reward, pressure, mark and reward. That's it. Very simple. Now what you're going to do is just add the command 1 second before everything. That's it. This is called delayed conditioning. This is classical conditioning. This is how we teach the dog words, how we teach the dog commands. We just give the dog the command, place, and then we show them using leash pressure, using the food lure, and we do this again and again and again and again and again, and the dog starts to associate the command, the word, in this case, the place word, with the behavior of getting onto the place board. And it'll take a while for your dog to pick up the verbal cue, by the way. So just continue teaching the verbal as you move on to the next levels, okay? And that's it. So let me go ahead and show you what step 3 looks like. So all I'm gonna do to name the command, as you guys know, I'm gonna give the command, and then I'm going to lure him on the place board and then mark and reward once he's on. That's it. Command comes first. And I wanna make sure my body is neutral as I give the command. So here, I'll get him over here. Arrow place. Chip. Good boy. Very good. Right, so command first, and then I help the dog, and then I reward the behavior. Okay. Arrow place. Chip. Good. Very nice. Very nice. Good job. Okay. Arrow place. Chip. Good boy. Very nice. Okay. All right. And that's it. So that's like the end of a first session. Later on today, we'll do another session. So here's the second session that we did today, and I'm just building on everything that he learned in the first session. Place. Chip. Nice, buddy. Nice. I want you to notice how, even though I'm not worried about making duration at this point, every time I'm about to release him from the position, I use my release word, which for us is okay, and then I release him from the place board. Arrow place. Yes, man. Very good. Okay. Place. Yes, man. Very nice. Challenging him with just a little bit, pushing for just a little bit of space, right? Letting him deal with that frustration of like not knowing exactly what to do, and then boom, reward the moment he gets on. Okay. Let's see if he, So here I'm throwing some food on the floor for him to go and get, and I'm doing this just to break up the session a bit, right? I felt like it was getting a little one-dimensional, a little boring, a little predictable, and so I'm doing this just to add a little bit of spice, a little bit of variety to the session before we return to what we were doing before. Arrow place. Nice, a little bit of hope. Good. He's just a little far away, right? Good. Okay. Arrow place. Chip. Nice, man. Very nice. All right. It's a little dynamic break there. Okay. Good. Place. Place. Chip. Yeah, man. Very good. So there I opted for the repeat command just to see if he would figure it out or offer it, yeah. So that's it, guys. Place command level 1 with Arrow is now complete. He's comfortable with the place board. He knows how to get on with the food lure and with leash pressure, and he's starting to learn the verbal cue. Of course, he doesn't know the verbal cue yet. It's not perfect, right? But over the next couple weeks, he'll start to pick it up as long as I'm consistent. All right, so now I can go ahead and teach the word. Ollie, place. Chip. Good boy. Okay. Good boy. Ollie, place. Chip. Good boy. Okay. Good job, buddy. So that's place command level 1 with Ollie. For him, we had to start with leash pressure because he was a little unsure of that place board, and then we combined it with the positive reinforcement in the form of food. If you have a low food drive dog, you don't have to use food for this. You can just use praise and affection instead. It'll all work the same, but he gets there with food lure, get there with leash pressure, and then we start naming the verbal cue. This whole session took about 4 minutes. The purpose of level 2 is to teach the dog that they must stay on the place board by adding the 3 Ds. Distance, even when you're far away. Distractions, even around distractions in the environment. And duration, holding it for extended periods of time. And before I show you the examples, walking you through the 3 Ds, I need you to keep in mind the golden rule. All you need to do is make staying on the place board good and make stepping off the place board bad. That's it. That's all it is. All right? And the dog is only allowed off once you release them with break or okay or whatever your release word is. All right? So as you're working this and you're adding the 3 Ds, if the dog is staying on the place board, mark it with good. Good place. Nice, calm, stabilizing praise. Calmly give them a food reward. Calmly drop a treat on their place board. Nice and calm, making it good to stay on. If they ever step off the place board, so if you see their paw touch the ground, you need to mark that behavior with ah and make that's verbal pressure. You need to close in on them, making spatial pressure, and you grab the leash, making physical pressure back onto the place board. And then the pressure goes away and you're back to good. You see? That's all it is. You make it good to stay on and bad to step off. Dog has to stay on there until they hear break or okay, whatever your release word is. That's it. If you can do that consistently, your dog will pick this up incredibly quickly. Now, as you're adding the 3 Ds and you're doing these training sessions and stuff, the key is to start out easy at first and gradually make it more difficult. So for example, if you're doing distance, let's not step away 100 feet from the dog like right at the very beginning. Let's just take 1 step away. Show the dog that picture, and then 2 steps, and then 4 steps. You see? Start out easy, work your way up. If the ball is like a level 10 distraction, let's not start with that yet. Let's work our way up to that point. You see what I mean? Start out easy, work your way up. For duration, you'll see like in the examples I'm about to show you, I work on all these things at once in the beginning. Just a little distance, distractions, and duration, kind of all at once, just thrown into the mix. But then I also have separate dedicated duration sessions. Usually I'll have my laptop with me and I know I'm gonna be here for like the next hour to 2 hours. And I'm just gonna work on the place command. So as I'm doing work on my laptop, watching the dog out of the corner of my eye, I've got the leash in my lap, I've got food with me, my treat pouch on, and every time they step off, I'm gonna make that bad, and I'm gonna make it good to stay on. That's it, all right? So when you're making those duration sessions, of course, you're gonna need some time because you need to get past something called the turning point. The turning point is when your dog goes from kind of being in a state of conflict and they're a little stressed out and they're making all these mistakes to suddenly you see that they relax, they lay down, they close their eyes, their breathing slows, they maybe even fall asleep. You'll see where that point is for your dog. For most dogs, it's around 15 to 30 minutes and you'll see it. And when you're making duration, you need to make sure you're getting past that turning point, right? But I'll show you examples, of course. And over time, if you can do that, you'll see the turning point shrink. 30 minutes to 15 minutes to 10 minutes to 5 minutes to 2 minutes to 1 minute to instant. But you have to get past that turning point in the training process. You see, a lot of people, they get all anxious themselves when the dog is like panting on the place board and staring at them and making all these mistakes. They get anxious and then they release the dog. See, you accidentally reinforce that behavior if you do that. Don't do that. You got to get past the turning point. Only release them when they're calm. Okay? So that's it, guys. And over the next 4 to 5 days, just practice the 3Ds and you'll see which one your dogs really struggle with. Right? For many dogs, it'll be the duration. Like that's tough just to hold it for instance. That turning point, oof, getting past that is real tough. And then for other dogs, it'll be the distractions. Like that's really the tough part, right? And so figure out which it is for your dog. Spend most of your time on that. Concentrate most of your efforts on that specific D and continue making progress. All right? Start out easy, make it more difficult. Let's show you some examples now. So here we're working some of the 3Ds with Arrow. We're in an outdoor environment, so the environment is serving as a distraction. I am also a distraction in my movement. I'm creating some distance from him, and I'm making some duration on the place command. If he steps off at any point, I'm going to negatively reinforce the place command by marking with verbal pressure. I'm going to close in on him, making spatial pressure, and I'm going to make leash pressure. Once he's back on the place board, all the pressure goes away. If he stays on the place board during this time, I'm going to mark that behavior with good place, praise, and I'm going to come back and reward him with food in position, positive reinforcement. Good. Place. Good. Good. Good place. Good boy. Good place, buddy. Place. Good. See, little things. Good. Good place. Good. Good job, man. Good place. Very nice. Good. Place. Good. Nice. Good job, man. Very good. Very good. Good place. The reason I'm marking with good instead of chip is because chip is a terminal marker. So technically, if he heard that sound, he would be allowed to break the position, and I don't want him to break the position. I want to make duration, which is why I'm praising with good place. Good. Good job, man. Place. Good. I know. I'm testing you. Good. Good. Place. Good. Notice, guys, all I'm doing is I'm making it bad to step off the place board, and I'm making it good to stay on the place board. That's it. That's all I'm doing. And as long as I can do that consistently, he will learn incredibly quickly. But that's all it takes, guys. Make it good to be good, bad to be bad. Nice, buddy. Very good place. Very nice place, man. Very nice place. Good job, man. Good place. Good place. Good place. Wow. Look at this good guy on the place board. Look at him. He's a good boy on the place board. Look at him. It's a good boy on the place board. Wow, what a good boy on the place board. Very good. Very good. Very nice. Very nice. Place. Good. So that one got him, all right? When I went like this, I came back to him, and then I went, good. Good place, buddy. Good place. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Big jackpot there, and then we can end it for now. Good job, man. Good boy. Okay. Nice job, buddy. Now we're gonna take things up a notch, start increasing the distractions. Arrow here really likes his toys, and so we're gonna be using those as the distraction now. You can just throw it like right in front of him. Good. Good place. Good. Nice job, Arrow. Good place. Good boy. Good place. Start like right here and just throw it like right in front. Good boy. Good place. Good. Nice job, buddy. Good place. These ones are hard for him because it goes right across. Good. That impulse control, dude. He needs some help. Right across again. Yes, good job, buddy. Super nice. Good boy. Good place. Good. Very nice. Super nice. Super nice, buddy. And then just throw it. Good. Good place. Me neither. That surprised me. The reason we're doing this is to teach the dog impulse control. When we started training Arrow, he had no impulse control. He would do whatever he wanted to do whenever he wanted to do it. It's just stimulus response, stimulus response. He just sees it and does it. He's not thinking about it. There's no threshold for action. He just sees and does. And so really the high level skill that we're developing in the obedience, in the play, in the reactivity, everything is impulse control. That fundamental skill of I want to do this, but I can't. I must control myself. And the place command is such an easy way to start doing this because it's so simple. The criteria is so clear for the dog. Keep all 4 paws on the place board no matter what. If you do, good things happen. If you don't, bad things happen. It's so simple and so clear. Impulse control. That's the skill we are developing. And you can see just a few sessions later, look at the progress. Like I'm able to just, I know he's not gonna break the position, so I feel comfortable dropping the leash, I can kick the balls around. Impulse control. Exercising this impulse control muscle within the dog will positively help everything else you do. So here I'm working a long duration play sport session with Arrow. I just pulled up my chair and we're just getting some work done and watching him while he's staying on place, right? We stayed here for an hour and a half and in total he made 3 mistakes. Every single time he took a paw off the place board, I marked it with and made leash pressure back onto the place board. I made it bad to get off place. When he stayed on, I occasionally gave him very calm praise just to let him know he's doing the right thing. Good. Good place, buddy. Nice job. Super calm, all right? The key here, guys, when you're working on duration is never release the dog when they are anxious and whining and panting and circling or barking. None of that stuff. Only release the dog once they are calm. You have to get past the turning point. For most dogs, that's going to be around 15 to 30 minutes. The longest I've seen was an hour and a half. And you'll see over time that turning point reduce from 30 minutes to 15 minutes to 10 minutes to 5 to 1 minute to instant. But it takes a lot of patience and consistency. So now that your dog understands the place command very well, it's time to proof the behavior in real world situations here in level 3. So at this point, your dog is holding the place command inside the house for hours at a time. Your dog holds it around distractions. They hold it even when you're far away from them. They've got the place command on lock. Now we level it up and we proof for real world scenarios. So in the proofing phase, here's what you do. So let's say, for example, you have people coming over to the house. Well, that's a very difficult scenario. What do? Prepare and proof. All right, prepare. You have people coming over, next week on a Tuesday. What are you going to do to prepare for that? What can you do today? Well, let's see if we can, let's send it in place and let's just have me practicing walking over to the door and opening it. What does he do? Does he stay on or does he get off? See, okay, seems to be pretty good at this. Now let's practice, me going over to the door. Hey, how's it going? Whoa, pretending to talk to someone, but there's no one there. What does he do? If he gets off, you know what to do. If he stays on, you know what to do. You see, practice, practice, practice. If you have kids or you have a significant other, have them send you a text. Say, hey, send me a text like 5 minutes before you get home. They'll say, okay. And then they send you a text 5 minutes out. Great. Put the dog on place, got the leash on, got your treats on, reinforcing the place command. They come into the house. What does he do? Does he get off? You know what to do. Or does he stay on? You know what to do. You see? And you can slowly make it more challenging. Now, next time, you can say, next time you come in the house, be super exciting when you come into the house, right? Have them come into the house. Oh my gosh, hey buddy, I haven't seen you in so long. If he can hold the place there, he can definitely hold it when guests come over. You see how you prepare ahead of time? You prepare. You're thinking ahead. You're problem solving. What can I do? How can I recreate this? Show him how to behave, attach consequences to his behavior to prepare for that scenario. If you're going on a camping trip, you're going camping with the dog, again, prepare and proof. Okay, I'm going to go camping. All right, we're going to be in an outside environment. Well, let's practice more outside. So next time we're at that park, by our house, let's just place him on the bench and let's just hold it together. Let's just hold it for like a good, 20 minutes. Let's just relax. I might step away from him, might come back occasionally, reward him in position. Let's just have him hold it as he sees like the people and the birds and stuff flying around. Like you're preparing. See, you prepare and you proof. Now, when you're proofing in the real world like this, you will definitely need to increase the level of reinforcement, negative reinforcement to proof the behavior. So at this point, you're no longer you're not nagging him on the leash or anything like that. You're making a real consequence when he makes a mistake. He understands the behavior very well. You took your time to teach it. Now you are going to strongly negatively reinforce this. So if he makes any mistakes, right, he gets off the place board, you are going to firmly correct it using the leash. And you can make pressure negative reinforcement using the leash and the prong, or if you're on week 4 or week 5 or week 6 of the training, you can correct it on the e-collar, right? But again, it all comes back to the basic. Just make it good to stay on the place board and make it bad to come off the place board. That's it. Very simple. And the last step for level 3 is to generalize the place command. So at this point, you can teach your dog that place means anything elevated, not just the place board. So you can practice sending them to random objects and surfaces, park benches, park tables, logs, rocks, like literally anything. You can even just out on your regular walk, just find things that are elevated and you can just practice sending your dog there to place. If your dog is hesitant or afraid of something, they're unsure, you can make light levels of negative reinforcement, hold it, don't release it until they get on, and then release the pressure, praise, mark and reward, and repeat it until they're comfortable getting on and off. This is a great way to build confidence in fearful, anxious dogs, right? The whole world, like you can go outside of playgrounds are really good if you go on times where it's not busy, like at nighttime or something, and you can just practice just like on these weird surfaces and these weird like little things and weird objects. And this is a great way to show your dog how to overcome stress and show your dog how to win, overcome that adversity and win on the other side. This is how you build confidence. So I'm going to go through and answer your commonly asked questions. So can I teach the place command on a dog bed instead of a place board? I strongly recommend teaching it on an elevated surface like this, an elevated dog cot, because it's so much faster. The criteria is very clear for the dog. And then once you've done that and your dog knows it very well, then you can generalize it to your dog's bed or the ottoman of the couch or whatever you want to do. But I recommend teaching it on the place board. What if my dog is barking or whining on the place board? If they are, mark it with no and punish the behavior using the leash and the prong or whatever. When your dog is quiet, give them calm praise and drop a treat on the place board. So basically just make it bad to bark on the place board and make it good to be quiet on the place board. That's it. And then if your dog is whining like a little bit, it's not a big deal. But if they're whining excessively, like, then I'll mark that with no and punish it. And then of course, reward them for being quiet. What if my dog puts themselves on the place board? Yeah, this will happen. Like your dog will go there throughout the day and they'll go and take a nap on the place board or whatever. And if they do that, if they go on their own, they can come off on their own. That's fine. But if they get stuck, like they're like, wait, did you put me here or did I put myself here? Like they forget. They're like, wait, can I come off or not? At that point, and you see them just like stuck, just give them the break command. Just release them. What if my dog won't come off when I say break or okay? Yeah, sometimes people are like, Miles, my dog, when I say break, he just stands there. And then I watch the video and then they're like, break. They're just staring at the dog, right? You have to show the dog what you mean. And so using your body, using a nonverbal cue. Remember, dogs are primarily nonverbal. So just your verbal cue alone doesn't mean anything. You have to combine it with something nonverbal. And so in this situation, when you say break, don't just say break, say break and use your body to encourage them to come off, right? Use the leash to encourage them to come off. Say break and then toss a piece of food on the ground. You see, like you're using something nonverbal to teach them what that means. They don't know what it means yet. Over time, you won't have to do that all the time. They'll start to learn, but you have to attach the verbal to a nonverbal cue. What if my dog won't go to place from a distance? Yeah, some people are like, Miles, when I'm on the couch, and I say place, he doesn't know what that means. Yes, it's because dogs are very contextual. Like when you taught the place command, you taught it standing like 2 feet away from the place board. And so he doesn't know what it means when you're on the couch and you say place. Arrow was like this, right? Like when I was on the couch and I'm like, Arrow place, he's like, huh? And then what I do is I stand up from the couch and I'm like, place, and I remind him and I'm indicating with my hand, I'm pointing at the place board and he's like, huh? And I take a step closer, place, and he's like, oh, place. And then he runs over to it and gets on. And I'm like, good place, right? He just doesn't know. And then what you see like through repetitions, then it becomes like, now I only have to say place, point at it and step up. And then he knows to get on place. And then I can say place and just point from the couch and he goes on place. And then I can just say place you see, so you have to practice. You have to work your way up. And if you're practicing like at a distance or in different contexts, practice it. So start out close and slowly work your way further and further. Practice sending them from different angles and stuff, but it takes practice. Dogs are very contextual. This will also happen like if you move your place board. Your place board was always in this one corner. You move it, you're like place, and your dog just goes to the corner, not the place board. You see, dogs are very contextual in their learning. And so just practice. Now, that's if your dog isn't going at a distance, but what if your dog just ignores you completely? Right? And you don't have a leash on, like you're inside the house, you say place and they know place, like you're standing 2 feet away from the place board and they're just like, they just look at you and they're like, nah, and they just go away, right? At that point, I'm going to negatively reinforce the behavior by using my hand to grab him by the scruff or the collar or whatever, and I'm going to make him go to his place. So I'm literally going to drag him over to his place board, and once he's on his place board, then I'm going to release the pressure. Okay, so I negatively reinforced it using my hand. He's going to release. Once he's on, pressure goes away. If you know this is going to happen, or if you're in the very beginning stages of training and you don't have that much control over your dog, you can have a leash on the dog in advance to prevent this from happening. Now, how long can my dog stay on place? For as long as you want. It could be 4 minutes or 4 hours. They stay on place until they're released. Does my dog have to be in a down while in place? Nope. The only criteria is all four paws must be on the place board. So they can sit, stand, lie down, sleep. Any of that stuff is fine. What if my dog breaks the command when people come over? You need to practice beforehand. And when people come over, have a leash on the dog so you can negatively reinforce the command, right? So prepare. Be ready. This is a training session. This is not a socialization session with your friend. Nope, they are helping you train your dog, at least in the beginning when they come over. All right. So if you have any other questions, drop it in the community and we'll help you out. We have a place command challenge that you can complete here. This is additional resources, working on the place command with 2 dogs. Mary showed this really good video of that. And then Mark also showed what it looked like to take your dog into the office. All right. When you do that, when you go take your dog to these new places, just remember, it's a training session at first. You're training, you're preparing, you're going through everything, okay? So that's it. Train the place command.